to Bidwell Canyon Farm, ladies and gentlemen. It is Brian coming at you live and direct from the Bidwell Canyon Farm tiny house on wheels. Thank you for joining me. Today's video is brought to you by the like and subscribe buttons down below, those little cuties. Please hit those buttons. It really helps our channel grow and it helps this video reach more people like you. Thank you. In today's video, I'm going to give you the complete cost breakdown of this amazing tiny home. This breakdown is going to focus on the total cost of the house itself, not the surrounding infrastructure that was involved in this particular project, although I will add those costs in at the end of the video so you get an idea of what the deck, the water line, the road, those type of infrastructure improvements also cost. I broke out the costs into categories such as infrastructure, electrical, appliances, plumbing, furnishings, cabinetry, and fasteners. I'm going to go through each of these categories and break them down individually, starting with the most expensive, which was infrastructure. I'll be rounding up or down just to make it an even dollar amount, but that'll give you a pretty good idea of the amount spent on each category. Before I get into the numbers, I thought I should mention that we started this project in February of 2020 and we ended it in July of 2022. Also to note, our family built this entire tiny home ourselves, so any of the costs here are minus the labor costs you might accrue if you were to hire the job out. So after tons of research, planning, and countless hours of watching Living Big in a Tiny House, shout out Bryce, we finally settled on a design we all loved and modeled it in SketchUp so we could get our materials list figured out and see the space before a single dollar was spent. The infrastructure cost of this building was $20,825. So in that $20,825, the lumber, including the framing for the walls, the sheathing on the walls and roof, all the interior wood you see here, came to a total of $8,510. The next expensive part of the category was the trailer itself, which came out to $5,835. Now this is a specially designed Iron Eagle 24-foot pad or PAD trailer. It's 8 foot 6 inches wide and it's 24 foot long. We opted for a number of add-ons for this trailer, which were at an additional cost to us, which included a welded on pop out over the tongue, 4 stabilizer jacks on each corner, a welded on wheel well flange, and a galvanized metal underbelly pan. The windows and sliding glass door came to $2,692. The roof metal and flashing came to $2,370. There were other additional costs in this category, such as the rock wool insulation, the Tyvek house wrap, the Tyvek roof paper, and a few other miscellaneous costs. So that's kind of the overall breakdown of that infrastructure category. Now the electrical system for this particular tiny home came in at $7,031. $5,231 of that cost was particular to the 12-volt DC off-grid solar package. So $1,800 was dedicated to wiring, plugs, switches, lights, and exhaust fans, things like that. Next up, we have appliances and fixtures category. This is permanent appliances like this Everchill DC specific refrigerator, the RV hot water heater, tankless propane hot water heater, the propane wall monitor heater, the composting toilet, any permanent appliances or fixtures like the sinks that remain with the trailer. So that category came in at $6,138. And I'll break down those costs here. Getting windy. Next up, we have the plumbing category, which came out to $2,318. That includes all of the PEX, the shark bite fittings, the propane gas fittings, all the black iron used, the shutoffs, the supply lines, everything else. That can add up pretty quick also. Next up, we have furnishings category, which came to $4,383. This includes the Cali King bed up in the loft, the fold-down leather couch in the living area, and any non-permanent appliances like the toaster, the barbecue on the porch, things that wouldn't necessarily need to stay with the tiny home. I saved an enormous amount of money on the cabinetry. It came to a total of $3,104, mostly due to the fact that my brother, Kermit McCourt, donated all of this beautiful black locust face frame wood. Kermit also took the time to teach me the art of cabinet making, which is incomprehensible. The amount of knowledge he had just sped my process along so much, and I can totally see why cabinets cost so much now, even though I didn't realize it before. If I had to venture to guess how much a set of cabinets like this would be if you had to pay for them to be built custom, I would guess somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000, no joke, and I totally see why they are so expensive. Our next category is fasteners, and the reason I included this category is I was totally shocked by how much money we spent on nails, screws, glues, caulking, anything related to fastening. I was just blown away, and that total was $1,797, and that includes the Simpson hardware for the roof rafter connections, all the nuts and bolts that hold the frame to the trailer, the subfloor to the trailer, the floor joists, any of the fastening that went on, which was an ungodly amount of glue and caulking that I didn't really foresee. So that kind of shocked me to find out that there was almost $2,000 spent in just fasteners. So are you ready to hear the grand total of the Bidwell Canyon Farm off-grid tiny house on wheels? Okay, here it is. The total was $45,595.84 for this tiny home on wheels. Now, you must note, I saved money on things like the metal around the base of the outside and some of the green metal up high. The red metal, that was all reused and repurposed. All of the window trim, the cabinets, those saved a lot of money. I did end up spending more on the DC off-grid system, so maybe those balance out. And I told you I would give you the added costs of some of the exterior infrastructure that makes this so special here in our property. And those totals came to $4,881. And that was the 12 by 12 Trex deck, the 600-foot water line that we had to trench and run to this particular site, and the road infrastructure to get down a hill that was otherwise inaccessible. Those added costs, as well as the travel expenditures to go to the different places to get the building materials, to pick up the trailer, the meals. The travel costs added $501.68. And when added all in all, the total of this structure with its outdoor infrastructure came to $50,935.01. So that is everything that makes this tiny house a home. So our goal all along by building this tiny home was to add another income stream to the farm, and that allows us more time spent here on the land we love. We started renting this tiny home out on Airbnb in September of 2022 and already have started making some money back on our investment. We've also met some really cool people along the way. Building materials have drastically increased since we finished this project. For example, if I were to buy this same exact trailer today, it would have cost $8,177, which is a 33% increase from when we bought it. If I was to build this same tiny home now in 2023, I could expect the overall cost to end up in the mid to upper $60,000 range instead of the mid 40s, what we paid. Thanks for joining me for this video. I hope it helps you get an idea of what a project like this might cost. Maybe it helps you plan your future project. I hope this helped. Thanks so much for joining me. Love you very much. Catch you on the next one. Shut up.